Actually, anything that is done in extremes is against God. For example, before realization, there is no ascent, there is no evolution of your being, of your awareness. In your human awareness, whatever you have achieved is expressed in your central nervous system. As you know, an animal does not know what is dirt, filth or beauty is. But a human being is aware of that. But the human being has to ascend into a new awareness, into new Chaitana. So whatever has to happen in our awareness. This simple thing people do not understand. And that is why, the reason why people go to extremes in everything is embedded. For example, supposing somebody has said that better take Rama's name. Simple thing like that in our Indian culture. That means you do not take bad names, do not say bad words, say a good word like Shri Rama. But when it comes to taking his name, one has to know that is the holiest of holy. This name is not to be taken frivolously at any time, at any length. Just once, sitting down from your heart, if you have to say Shri Ram, is sufficient. But if you go on like that, it becomes mechanical, has no meaning. That means you show no value to that name. Thus, you go to your left side, hankering, oh Rama, when will you meet me? I met one Muslim gentleman in Maharashtra, and he told me that while doing namaz, he thought, why only 5 times? I can do even 10 times. If I have to go to God, I must work hard. So he started doing it 10 times, and his knees were completely battered. So he thought, this is not the way to go to God. So he read Gita instead of Quran and all our Indian scriptures, studied Sanskrit, and started giving big lectures about Gita. And he felt that he has started acquiring a kind of a feeling that he himself is Vyasa. So he said, this is no good. It's all falsehood, I should give it up. He was an honest man. So he said, it's better to take to Bhakti. So he took those tal and went to, in Maharashtra, you know that we have a Vitthala's Mandir in Pandharpur, where people go for a month, walking on the street singing the song of Vitthala, 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 Vitthala. So he went with that. And he found out they all were taking a lot of tobacco on their way, and they were on in that, you see, transcendental state going on with Vitthala, 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 Vitthala. He showed me his fingers. He said, look at my nails, all broken. I didn't find God. I didn't find God there either in Pandharpur. So I was so disappointed. I said, what is this? All these methods lead you nowhere. I got so sick after that. So many times I went there. Every time I went there, I was so sick. Those people who went with me were all mad people. I talked to them, they never talked coherently. They were all mad, possessed. I didn't understand what sort of a nonsense going on. So, mother, where was my mistake? I said, who asked you to say Vitthala, Vitthala like this? He said, Jnaneshwara. I said, he never said so. As far as I know, he never said so. Jnaneshwara never said that you take this dal and go to Pandharpur. He never said so. What made you think that he said that you go on doing all these things? But he said that. I didn't read Ganeshwari to that extent. Whatever I read, people said, oh, you have to read that. It is said in Ganeshwari. I said, you have done so much of reading. You just see clearly. How can they tell you such a nonsensical thing? Anybody who is sensible won't go on telling on like this. And when we were having our own program one day in a Ganeshwar temple which they have erected in Bombay, they said, you can't do meditation. In Marathi they say, Tumi Dindya Gala, means you do that Vitthala business. I said, why? Did Jnaneshwara do like that? No, but he was Jnaneshwara. So to become that we have to do it. What an explanation. But did he do it himself? No, but he was born like that. But to achieve him we have to do like that. I said, have you seen anybody who has got anything out of that kind of a working. Have you seen anybody getting any realization or anything by doing Vittala, 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 this madness? They said, none. I said, you bring somebody who has got it. Then if nobody has got it, nobody has done it, Jnaneshwara has not done it, then why are you doing it? It's a kind of a manoranjan, or you can say an escape. Instead of taking wine, you are taking the tobacco, and you are just going into a trance and escaping life. But the other side of it is the intellectualism. This is one side of bhakti. The other side is that if you read something, then you suddenly become dharmic. Anybody can read anything. By reading something, if you can become dharmic, then it is a very simple thing. There is no need for anybody to do any meditation or anything. Just start reading any book and you will become absolutely on top of the world. It is all mental projection. We all can do it. What is so special? This is all mental projection. And this mental projection works to such an extent that whatever we do or whatever we think or whatever we conceive is nothing but mental projection. Take our politics. Is all our mental projection. What is your capitalism without any properties in you? Do you have any powers? Nothing. What powers you have got? Only destructive powers, atom bomb, this, that. What powers have you got? Can you convert one flower into a fruit? No, you cannot. You have no living powers. This is capitalism. What about your communism? When you have nothing, what will you distribute? As you can say, if I have all the powers, I am the greatest capitalist. But I can't live with it alone. I have to share it. So I am the greatest communist. But my communism or capitalism is not a mental projection. It is there and it works. It is manifesting. In Sanskrit, karyanvit. So this is what it is. The other side is just mental. So one creates the ego, another creates the superego. Both conditionings done to an extreme create problems in human beings. Because the movement of your attention is either on the left or on the right. And the more you start moving to the left, you first go to the subconscious area, then to the subconscious of this life, then the subconscious of your last lives, then the subconscious of the whole, that is collective subconscious. Right side if you move, you go into your supraconscious, that is future, then you go into your collective supraconscious. Actually, the past is finished, future doesn't exist. Now what is the center is the present. Now even if you say mentally, oh, I'm in the present, mother, I've got it. That's not the truth. Accept it. That's not the truth. That's just a mental acceptance, I'm such and such. By just accepting I'm such and such doesn't prove that you are there. Because it is important that we should accept as we are, instead of escaping into ego or superego. It is very important. If you have to ascend, you must know how far you are. For example, a plane has to ascend. We see how much petrol it has got. Whether its machinery is all right or not. In the same way, just find out, where are you? As I told you in the first lecture of mine, that God is what He is, whether you believe it or not. And you cannot conceive Him with your own imagination, with your own mental projections and your own ego. You cannot conceive Him. So best thing is to see for yourself with an open mind what is. This is first step towards little bit deconditioning. Once you realize that, you must know that no amount of lecturing, reading, or any kind of intellectual exposition or listening to these things are going to take you to your ascent. Only it will give you a pampered ego, an ego that will blind you. Not only that, that will make it impossible for your kundalini to rise. Now let us see what is the arrangement God has made for us. If I say something, you need not believe me, but keep yourself open-minded. God has made a beautiful arrangement within us that when the kundalini rises, she crosses over this center where I have a red spot. This is the window of that center which is placed in the center of optic chiasma, where it crosses. It's a very subtle center which controls from the parasympathetic angle the pituitary and the pineal body. who later on control the ego and the superego. I should say the pituitary controls the ego and the pineal body, the superego. Now the one side of the superego is what we call our karma, so-called. Is what we think, oh God, we have made bad karmas, good karmas, punyas, all these ideas. On the other side of the ego is those people who have accumulated by saying that I have done this good, I have done that good, I have been so great, I have been the Lord of the whole world. All these two big balloons in the head of ego and superego are just covering this part of the head, and this is being calcified. You develop your separate I-ness and you become Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z. Now what does the Kundalini do? As soon as she crosses over this center, she awakens a deity there. Here where the people falter. Because in the concept of an intellectual, there's nothing like deity, because he's the deity of deities. How can he think of a deity above him? It's too much. Because he does everything. He can do everything. So there is a deity who is settled down there, who gets awakened. And that is a special deity that sucks in these two institutions with you. By that suction, here a hollow fontanelle bone area or Brahmarandra is created. Once that is done, the Kundalini shoots up. First, of course, it enters into the limbic area in the brain. And then it is sucked in, it opens out, and Kundalini shoots off, and you can feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost coming out of your head. This is an actualization which you can see with your eyes, as I told you. But what happens to your awareness is the point. As I've already told you, that realization means your human awareness gets transformed into a new awareness. Please come and sit down. It's all right. Into a new awareness. Now, what is that new awareness we are waiting for? What is the new awareness we have to have? The new awareness you jump into is collectively enlightened awareness. Or we can say collective consciousness. This awareness is not a lecture or a branding or any kind of a superficial idea, but is what happens actually to your awareness. As you can see this light, as you can see these flowers, clearly, factually, like that, you start feeling others within yourself. That means you become conscious of others, of their chakras and centers, and you become conscious of your chakras. That's what Muhammad Sahib has said, that at the time of resurrection, your hands will speak. Now these hands start speaking. And when they start speaking, only you need a decoding, somebody to tell you, that's how I'm here. Many people have raised a lot of objection about me also, saying that, why you, mother? I said, better be yourself, I'm very happy to retire. And if you can do it, I'll be very thankful. This is absurd. Absurd. Because I only know one job, is the awakening of the Kundalini, and I know how to decode it. You know so many things. So what is there to be so much upset about it? I must say it's a very intricate job, very difficult job, and sometimes I feel I am raising mountains. But I know it, how to do it. So that's how I am here, just to tell you how to decode these feelings on your hands. So the first thing that happens to you is that you start feeling the cool breeze on your head when the Kundalini awakens. Now this you cannot do by any chance. Now somebody says that you make your clothes of, say, some color, then you will meet God. I mean, it's very easy. In India especially, you pay little money, you can get it colored. Why to announce that? Secondly, some people might say, if you jump fast, then you will get to God. I mean, you can always do it. What is so great? I met a gentleman who was putting both the feet towards me while sitting on the ground. And people said, you can't sit like this towards Mother, you must have some respect. He said, no, I want to show respect, but what to do? If I sit cross-legged, I start jumping like a frog. So I called him, I said, what is it? What's the problem? He said, Mother, I start jumping like a frog. But I said, why? He said, because my Kundalini is awakened, and my Guru says that once you get your Kundalini is awakened, then you start jumping like a frog. And he showed me a book in which it was written. And he is a Guru of a very well-known Guru who lives, who is now dead, I think, who has made lots of money. People don't know what to do with the diamonds he has collected. So also we do not understand that how can you become a frog now? Or an earthworm? You have to become a Mahamanav, in which you should feel that nobody is the other. You should be able to feel others within yourself. And if this does not happen, how do you take to these artificial things so easily, even when it comes to your ascent in evolution? Now, for example, you take a fish who swims, and you take a tortoise, it crawls. There's a difference between the two. And also in awareness, there's a difference. Because that can feel the water, this can feel the earth. But how can this be auto-hypnosis? Because if it is auto-hypnosis, then how is it that you can cure a person who is in coma, his cancer or any such disease, and bring him to normal? How can it be auto-hypnosis? One will tell you that there was a lady who was lying in coma in Australia before my going, and one of the surgeons who was a homeopath. And ultimately, they turned to her. And she said, I have only one way, I'll put Mother's photograph under her pillow. And they had decided that this lady is going to die. She has no way of coming out of it. Next day she woke up. And even when she woke up and started a little bit mumbling, the doctor said that her brain will be damaged. She'll be a damaged personality because already her brain was damaged according to them. But nothing. She got all right, and today she's working for surgery.